Okay, welcome tonight to the Legends Past and Future. Tonight I have two special guests coming back or coming. One you already know, Mr. Eric Brooks, model. He also does weight training and fitness. That is his passion. However, his career is modeling. And then I would love to introduce Jeanette Bell, my very own cousin out of North Carolina, protector or server, and she has her own fitness company. So tonight I want to bring them to you, and we just want to talk about health and wellness a little bit and kind of pick your brain, Jay, and pick your brain, Eric, on what health and fitness looks like for you and how to kind of bring people into the fitness community or get them serious about their health. But before we do that, let me just open the floor up. Jay, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you. Let the audience know who you are. Can you hear us? Uh-oh. Okay, we're gonna
Uh-oh.
start with Eric. Eric, go ahead and give us an introduction of yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Let me see if we can get Jay's volume going here.
Okay. Well, again, my name is Eric Brooks. My journey started around 96, 97, where I was a 90-pound freshman and was like, I wanted change in my life. Went to my father around that spring break time and had him take me to the gym and made a big impact in my life because I'm still doing it till this day. Now I've gotten just a whole lot better learning as far as foods that help me either grow, recover, things of that nature. And I'm always trying to build myself up. And I guess the biggest thing I love about the way I do fitness is I'm my own Picasso. I can stand in the mirror and say, okay, I want to add something to this part of the body, or I want to take away a little bit size from that part of the body. So being my own artiste, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So it's a marathon, not a sprint, but we're all figuring it out as we go. And this is a lifelong journey for me. So I am so thankful for it and thankful for being back on this platform.
It's so good to have you back. We are trying to get Jay back in the room. I know we have a little bit of technical difficulties going on. But I'm gonna start with you. Just tell us, we're into the month of May, and I've trained with you. We do classes together. You come to some of my classes, and I know you to be an individual that has so much discipline and dedication to your passion, to your craft. So, what has this year been looking like for you? Jay, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Oh, before you tell us that, Eric, let's jump in while we have our connection back going. Um, Jay, thank you for taking time out of your schedule. I know that you are a woman of many hats. Trust and believe. You have your own business, you have a family, you're working your career, you are a pillar in the community, you're an advocate for many things. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what brought you to fitness.
So my name is Jeanette, from New Jersey, living in North Carolina. What brought me to fitness? It's life. Just life. I always loved being in fitness. I've played basketball all my life, so that kind of geared me towards it. Once I got done playing basketball, I ended up going into law enforcement, and that was huge. Fitness is huge in law enforcement, and I continued on and just continued my passion.
Okay. So I just want to kind of expound upon that. Tonight, I just want to talk about health and wellness in general, right? I know you run your own fitness business, Bell LLC, and then you have a lot of individuals that are coming to you. What, as you have clients come to you, um, the ones that are discouraged, the ones that are not wanting to go to the gym, they're not quite sure where to start. How do you encourage them, or what do you do to get them started? Because you're running a business out of your home, and don't you have another location that you run out of, or is it just so? talk to us about that business and how you pull your clients in, how you keep them motivated or how you keep them dedicated. Because I've followed you, I follow your career, I follow your fitness journey, and I've seen you develop and grow. And, so it's amazing what I've seen as the years have gone through. So just talk to people about how to get started and what you do with your clients.
So the biggest thing that I push is that I meet you where you are. I don't have
That,
any.
what does
So
that mean?
what that means is whatever level you are on, that's the level I meet you at. So I always stress to every client, I'm not going to leave you in your comfort zone. I'm going to push you past your comfort zone, but we're going to meet where you're at. A lot of times, a lot of people are afraid to come into the gym because they're from the things that I've been told, they're afraid, and it's more of a fear. It's a fear of they not knowing what they're doing, a fear of embarrassment. I'm like, hey, number one, I don't judge you. Number two, we are here to work together, and I'm in it with you every single step of the way. So I don't care if we're at level 1 or we're at level 10. Wherever we at, I'm meeting you there, and that's the first thing
I've
that I
seen you
always tell them.
deadlift, so that ain't level one for everybody. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
So I tell them, you don't have to be at my level. I meet you at your level and I push you to get to your best self. That's it. I want you to be the best version of you. No, it's not going to be easy every single day. No, every day you're not going to want to show up. But guess what? When you're here showing up, I'm here with you. So I'm in it with you every step of the way.
So when you say that you're with them every step of the way, you're there with them. Um, I've watched your videos, so I know that you are not only motivating them, you're actually working out with them to keep them going. So what is that like for you? What is that feeling like for you?
To me, it feels good, and it helps me push them, helps me push myself. A lot of the times, I think a lot of people are like, oh, fitness trainers can go for hours and hours. A lot of times we be tired, but of course you can't show it. Of course you can't show it. 'Cause at the end of the day, I don't. I'm never going to quit on. I'm never going to quit on anybody. So I love working out with them. A lot of them, they love working out with me, even if they don't admit it. But it gives them a sense of there's not somebody that just there standing there watching them telling me what to do. I'm in it with you. That's what I say. I'm in it with you every step of the way. If the workout is hard, usually I do the workout prior to presenting the workout. So I know the time limit. I know how hard it's about to be. I already know how hard I'm going to have to push them. But I'm in it every step of the way.
I love it. So with that, I'm gonna come to you, Eric. When Jay talks about being in it every step of the way and pushing people, tell me about your philosophy on that, because I know I've worked out with you and I've probably been on the sidelines wanting to throw up a couple of times because you've actually pushed me to limits that I'm like, I really hate Eric, but one day he's going to take one of my classes and I'll torture him. So now I get the privilege of doing that. No, I'm just joking. Eric, I really don't mean that. But tell me, but Jay probably knows that I really do on the side. But tell me about your philosophy and how all that works for you. And, you know, um, when you're training with a client or training with someone, and then some of your photos, your modeling photos. I love the wine photos. I love the gym photos. How do you keep yourself ready? I've known you now for years, and I don't think I've seen an inch of fat on your body, and you seem to be maturing quite well.
Well, first of all, I think we've pushed each other when we were taking those classes together. Yes, I was known to be the one to push people when we had our classes, but trust me, Melissa was pushing me just as much as I was pushing her. So it was an honor and pleasure of training with her in the past. And as far as training with people, I like the philosophy. Yes, meet them where they are, but you got to push them past their comfort zone. I know, for example, when I used to work out with my dad, he had a thing about he wanted to get bigger arms, but he would stay at a certain weight and wouldn't push himself. So I would purposely wait till he would go to the bathroom, add weight onto the bar, and go ahead and curl it. And then halfway through it, he realized, oh, this boy didn't put weight on it. I was like, too late now. You got to keep going and,
Committed.
and 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 push him to hit. I said, this is what you wanted, so you get what you asked for. But as far as keeping things in line, I'm always playing around with the diet. always playing around with the cardio because you don't know unless you try. And your
Mhm.
body is changing. So as your body changes, you got to change things up and not get too comfortable in certain habits. So, and then for me, I'm also the standard. I know people always watching to see what I do, especially as I work out. I know at the time I go to the gym, I'm the older guy at the gym. It's a lot of younger kids, either in high school or college. So it's a pleasure showing them and hoping that they, as they're in the beginning of their fitness journey, that they continue it on. And then I have a little fun kicking their butt at the same time too. So it's everything all in one for me.
I love it. Um, and with that, Jay, so kind of to what Eric said when he was talking about the bigger biceps and stuff like that, I want to talk to you about this piece because I know I would have to say women probably do it all the time in the training realm. When you have clients that come to you, this is the famous one, summertime is coming, unbig my back. And I like to joke around about that. But for those clients that are coming to you that are saying, okay, I want to spot reduce, this is what I want, or they're coming to you with unrealistic goals, how do you approach that with your clients to include diet? And with that, what does your diet look like? And just be honest, because people think that, all right, every day I got to eat chicken, eggs, or whatever, and that is the only way that I am going to get the desired body I want. So tell me, what's the combination for you, and what do you feel about spot reduction? Because we do it, women. We come to you and we want to know. I'm big my back, Jay. I'm big my
So, the first thing that I always say is, are you just looking to unbig your back, or are you looking for a lifestyle change? Because I don't believe in just unbigging your back, because you can unbig your back for the summer, but guess what? As soon as the fall gets here, guess what's going to come right back? That back. So I tell them, like, I believe in lifestyle changes. Let's make a lifestyle change and let's really do this. Because the first thing, a lot of women, when they come to you, and I train majority women, the first thing they say is, "Oh, I just want to lose weight." I said, "Okay, well, what is the goal behind you losing weight? Because you losing weight is not the issue. You can lose weight, but you can gain weight right back. There's a ton of different diets, and the thing that I always say is, I don't necessarily like the word diet because I believe in lifestyle change. So you rarely hear me say anything about diet because it's a lifestyle change. So I need you to gear to or towards a lifestyle change. I need to know your goals. I need to know what's most important to you, because whatever is most important to you, you're going to show up for it every single day. If this is a chore, you're going to treat it like a chore. If this is like, okay, I really need to grab this and go, you're going to really grab it and go. For
I
me, I let them know, listen, I don't want to, like, it's some days you don't feel like doing it. Some days you just like, oh God, I want to eat this, I want to eat that. But you realize, okay, everything is more or less a mental game. It's a game. It's all it is a mental game. If you can get past those mental struggles, I promise you, you'll be just fine.
Okay, and with that, who's that? Armand? Oh, I thought Armand popped in because when you were talking about eating, I thought he was going to say something about his chocolate addiction that he used to have, and we used to purge his desk. But when you talk about like the mental struggles and the roadblocks for you as a trainer, and then also in a line of work where you're protecting and serving, how do you what's the foundation for you? How do you get past those to continue to push through? Because like I said, I will tell the audience, I've watched you over the years, it leaps and bounds with your fitness, the definition, the cut, the strength, everything. But on top of balancing a busy life as being a police officer and a wife and balancing your family, how do you get past those struggles to do what you need to do each and every single day?
To be honest, this might sound cliche-ish, but it's the fact that I know I have to get it done. I'm on the verge of 40. I'm like, I'm not getting any younger. I know what's more important to me. I've never been like a sweet eater. I'm a bread person, but I know if I eat bread, the inflammation and the sluggishness the next day feels awful to me. Now, of course, I have my days where I'm just like, okay, you know what? I didn't eat good all week long, 2 weeks, whatever, how long I've been cutting. Okay, I'm gonna have me some bread. but or it's also in moderation. It's like I don't just sit there and devour it. But if I know, like, okay, if I eat this today, guess what I'm gonna have to do tomorrow. It could definitely be mental blocks, but I just know for me what's most important to me, and that's how I get past it. Again, I'm almost 40, which some people are like, oh, you're a baby. But to me, I don't feel like a baby. I feel like every morning I feel like I'm starting up an engine every morning. Because I have so many injuries from sports and all kinds of stuff. But I also know for me to have a good solid day, good solid week, as far as the way I feel in my body, I have to do the right things to make sure that I'm not dealing with inflammation. I'm not dealing with sluggishness. I'm able to some mornings my mornings start at 5 o'clock and don't end until 10 at night. And I'm like, oh my God. But I know I have to fuel my body for what I want to do and accomplish and get through the week.
Okay. And the same question posed to you, Eric. So when it
Well,
comes to getting past those mental blocks, uh, because I've watched you in the arena also. And like I said, I've watched you cut, define, and every time, and I will say it because I've seen you in a yoga studio, in the gym, in different arenas, and I'll be honest, each and every time I'll go, there is no way he can potentially or possibly become a better version of himself when I'm talking about the aesthetics piece of how formed your body is. But I see it form each and every year in some different way. So what is that like for you? And what is, how do you get past those mental blocks? What's your push? What's your edge? And then talk a little bit about your diet.
I'm gonna piggyback off Jay. Yeah, there's certain times you definitely don't want to go. I know this past Sunday because I start my training on Sunday nights, and my last night is Thursday night. And Sunday night, I was looking at that television screen like I do not want to go to the gym, but I knew I had to get things done. Like I'm always trying to get bigger legs, so I'm like, this is the one day you cannot miss. Of all the days, you have to get your butt in there. And then once I got there, it was like, let's just see how the first set of movements go. And I end up having an awesome, awesome workout. Yeah, and that somehow, some way, I think it just put something different on my plate every year that just gets me better. Because even sometimes, to your point, I even say, how do I beat this? But me competing with myself, I'm like, there's some way, somehow, I'm going to be better than what I am last year. So I know for me, it's been food timing has helped a lot. Um, Jay said her bad habit is bread. I'm not gonna lie, I love Reese's, I love chocolate chip cookies, I love brownies, I love
You
I just
love
bought two big bags
burpees?
of popcorn. But it's like, if I do good throughout the week, I give myself that cheat meal as a reward so I don't go crazy. And then I always plan that cheat meal of, okay, I'm gonna be sleeping a good 7, 8 hours, so my body needs something to eat on as I'm sleep anyway, type of ordeal. But it's not, and I tell people all the time, you're in it for the long haul when you go into the gym and you don't feel like going. It's part Jay has been preaching your lifestyle. But yeah, I'm constantly playing with the protein. For me, my biggest protein right now is a lot of turkey. I'm getting to play with red meat on my rest days to give myself an added boost, a creatine. Even play around with like cottage before I go to bed, hearing about some of the benefits of it, giving you that natural casein protein as you sleep at night. And it might work, it might not work, but I'm not afraid to try things because you don't know unless I something else. So that's the other thing I would preach is, there's a 9 ways to skin a cat, but choosing. And then from there, give it at least 6 weeks or whatever. If it great, you can continue with your journey. If not, hey, I tried. Let's move on to the next thing. So that's how I like to approach and go things with my fitness.
Okay. And definitely with the trial and error. And then I would say, definitely making sure your clients are probably checking with their medical providers to make sure there aren't any underlying issues before they get started with the plan. So, and I know you mentioned, Jay, that you have a lot of injuries and stuff, and that's a very good topic because I often hear people say, well, I can't do this because I have this issue, that issue. So when it comes to that fallacy about injuries and our capabilities and what we can actually do, what has been your go-to to get past your limitations, or how do you get your clients through that, or get them out of the mindset that, okay, well, I have a bad back, so now I can't get up and move and I can't do X, Y, and Z. So how do you, what is, how do you deal with that?
So what I always say is, if your mind can already envision it, your body will do it. If you continue to put in your mind what you can and can't do, guess what your body gonna do? Whatever you say you can and can't do.
Mhm.
I've had a ton of injuries. I always explain to all my clients, even if they say they don't have these injuries, if they say they've dealt with these injuries, whatever it may be, I always explain to them of how I've nursed myself back from an injury. Now, some things, of course, you have to listen to your body. You have to listen to your medical provider. But there's certain things where people are like, "Oh, I got a bad back." Well, what exactly is a bad back? Is it like, okay, do you have a weak core? Do you really have, some bulging discs? Like, what are we talking about? And let's try to work through it. Some people feel like, okay, well, if I don't do nothing, it's not going, my back won't hurt. Well, that's not the truth, because your back has been hurting you for 20 years. So let's figure out how to figure this out, and let's work through this. As for me, I've had all kinds of injuries in a way that, as for me, what works for me, honestly, is being cautious of what I'm putting in my body, building muscle around those injuries, listening to my body. I have terrible knees. I've had a meniscus surgeries already. Being cautious of the load bearing weights and stuff like that, being cautious of knowing, okay, well, maybe right now is better to do higher reps than heavier weight. Do lower weight, higher reps. So that works for me, and I explain that to them as well. Don't just put whatever you put in your head, your body is going to do. Your mind is a powerful thing. Your mind will tell your body to shut up, let's go. Your body's capable of doing whatever your mind tells it to do.
Yes, yes. Oh, am I frozen? Eric, are you? Oh, okay. And what about you, Eric? What about
I
that
was
piece?
gonna say I'm here.
Okay. So what about that piece for you? I know that you've dealt with a few injuries yourself. I will tell you, we're gonna get the child's pose thing down, but in all seriousness, I know that there are a few injuries you've dealt with also. So what has been your workaround, or what do you bring to your clients or tell your clients when they start putting up, and sometimes it becomes a mental block, right? Like Jay said, I put that limitation in my head, so I believe I can't do it. Now, why I believe I cannot jump 72 inches on a box, I might be able to do 12 inches or something. But how do you, what's your mantra? What do you say to yourself, and what do you say to your clients whenever they start putting those blocks and limitations in there, dealing with your own personal injuries?
There's an old saying by a coach named Johnson: "Let the mind control the body, not the body the mind." So, piggybacking off what Jay said, if you already psychologically saying you can't do X, Y, and Z, well, guess what? You're not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. Yes, there are, like she said, times where you honestly have to listen to your body and take, certifications. But yeah, if you got to lower the weight for certain exercises, go ahead. But that's where food plays such an important piece in our
Mhm.
journey. Yes, I believe in the, pushing yourself and all those good things. But if people focus more on how foods make them feel before the workout, after the work, the recovery time, which is something I try to stress people more than anything. If you focused on what helps you to recover, how that will help your goals as the weeks go on, is a tremendous thing. And that's probably been the biggest thing for this upcoming year, will probably get past is what am I doing to help my body recover? Because I'm sure between the three, we put a lot of pounding on our body from what we're just as much as we're putting a beat on our body, we need to find a way to recover it as fast as possible. So that's a big thing for me. Sure, I feed what it needs to recover so I can get ready for the next workout and et cetera, and for my clients as well.
Nice. I like that. So recovery being a big piece. And I think for a lot of people, they don't realize sleep is part of that recovery. It's just like, let me go, go, go. And then I don't need to rest. So when we start talking about the recovery piece, just as a fun question, what do you like to do, Jay? What do you like to do for the recovery piece? Because I know that your schedule is busy and you're constantly going. So for you, what does recovery look like for you?
Usually recovery for me, my sleep schedule is like all over the place. So I do different things like I see the chiropractor all the time. I do cupping therapy, trying to do my best at stretching. I am not the best stretcher, and I know you probably yell at me like, "You need to be doing yoga."
Yeah.
I definitely do need to add that in there. 'Cause I always talk about flexibility, but I am not the most flexible person. But of course, as far as for me recovery, I do massage therapy. I do different things that add into my weekly routine to keep me going because recovery is like to me is, as Eric says, just as important as the work. It really is. Like a lot of people think I gotta work out, work out, work out. But if you're not recovered, if you're not giving your muscles time to recover, all you're doing is it's just deteriorating. It's kind of like a negative versus a negative to me.
Hmm.
Uh, but that's pretty much what I do. A lot of cupping. I do massage therapy, chiropractor, different things to ease the muscles because lifting a lot of weight is like as he said, it's a lot of beating on the muscles.
Hmm. So, and then before I get to you, Eric, I want to ask you one more question on that, Jay, because you mentioned earlier, I'm about to be 40, I'm about to be 40, and I'm probably sitting over here going, oh, you're just a baby. And you're really not. You're full-fledged grown up. But my question would be, all right, there's in 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 your line of business, there is this fallacy with younger generations about what we can do as we mature. And so, what would you say to that? How have you had to revamp the things that you do as you mature to stay in tip top shape?
Uh, food, the biggest thing, fueling your body. Like as you said, that is huge. Like I said, I don't like the word diet, but I like the word fueling your body. Knowing what you put into your body. I cannot just I wish I could. Lord knows I wish I could eat certain stuff, but I know that I can't. Or I can't indulge as much. But also knowing your limits. A lot of with my job, I also outside of just regular law enforcement, I'm also a fitness trainer for the state for law enforcement. So imagine showing up with people, with dudes and females that are 21 years old, and you got to lead them. You gotta lead them. Like you gotta be like, woo. By the end, I'm like, yeah, but I did it. You gotta show up and you gotta do everything that you're supposed to do. But I would say that as for me, as far as age, I feel it. Some mornings I do feel it, but incorporating different supplements that work for me. Everything that works for me may not work for everybody else, but I know what works for me. And he mentioned that before. If it does work, keep going with it, keep using it. If it doesn't work, get rid of it. Um, Different protein intakes. Like I said, I don't like the word diet, but my intake is I take a high amount of protein, a lot
So,
of
in
protein in.
gram, how much, when you say a lot in grams, how much protein daily do you think you take in?
I know the exact number is 157. So I do
Woo!
157 grams of protein a day.
So, okay, tell us what that looks like because for some people, um, and I'll think about me. For me to be able to maintain whatever it is that I need to maintain, I need to be at least taking in 100 grams of protein. But I'll be honest with you, I I don't always hit that mark. So, what's a good way to hit that mark? Simply because if I realistically have to eat it all in chicken or whatever, I would never make it. So for you, how do you hit that mark whenever you're taking in that amount of protein? And then also just let the audience know what you're doing that requires that type of protein. And then I'm coming to
Sure.
you, Eric, because I know yours is high too. No celery.
So
Eric.
for me, I do different supplements. I do protein supplements. I like my breakfast is usually it's going to be overnight oats with a scoop of protein in it. I eat a lot of ground turkey. I eat 200 grams of ground turkey in different increments. I do a lot of. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going, whoo.
Yeah, so but you so my body is used to it. My body's used to it. I take in a lot of chicken. I don't necessarily like red meat because red meat causes inflammation for me. I try to stay away from the red meat as much as I can because it causes other issues for me. But ground turkey, ground turkey, ground turkey. I break it up into increments. So usually I'm eating every 3 hours. I'm taking some type of intake into my body, and my body's just used to it. Now to most people, they're gonna be like every 3 hours. Oh my god, 200 grams. But my body's used to it. So honestly, because my body is used to it, if I don't eat every 3 hours, I'm gonna be starving. And what people don't realize is like if you wait to eat once you're hungry, you're always going to overeat. If you're starving, you're like, you wait till if I was to wait 2 hours after my usual, I call it like my feeding time, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to overindulge in something else that I don't need to be eating.
Okay.
And the reason why I do that amount, number one, I am 6'1". I am a muscular female. And again, like I said, I am working out with guys that are like 21 years old. So I do a lot of weight training. I do a lot of weight training. I train clients during the day. I go to work. Working in law enforcement, you wear a lot of gear. You stand for long periods of time. You never know when you're gonna have to go into that battle and be the best you. So that's the reason why I do that, and it's also based upon my calculations for what I plan to, or well, I should say what my goal is. But I've been on that for so long that it's just every week I do my meal prep. I do it the night before. That way I know how much I need to take in, and I'm not playing a guessing game. I measure everything out, so I know what I need to eat every single day, so it's already ready. If I had to guess, I'm like, oh my god, like I'm never gonna be able to keep up with this.
That's when I pull over when that red light come on at Krispy Kreme. Tell me, what about you, Eric? Um, as far as like the amount of protein, because you're really cut, you're really lean. So in order to maintain that, and as you've matured, how do you maintain that? How much protein are you taking in? What works for you? What works for you?
Well, I take protein and meat protein powders is my secret way of hitting my mark. Now, do I measure?
Uh-oh, we're breaking up a little bit.
Believe it or
Your
not,
mouth is
I'm the
moving, but no
worst
words are coming out.
example. Hear me? Uh-oh. Now,
I know. Eric,
better?
E, he may have to go out and come back in. Yeah, let me let him know to go out and come back in. So, Jay, yeah, yeah, we'll get back to him. But when it comes to exercise, you know how a lot of people, they see exercise as a chore. So when you have clients coming to you, I've seen, like I said, I watch your videos. How do you make it fun for them? How do you pull people in? Because it's not like one or two. I see neighborhoods full of women and
Mhm.
the park is full. How do you make that fun for them to pull them in? Let me let E know he's doing whatever. He's frozen in space there.
Okay. So usually what I do, I like to do a lot of like circuit training. I've found like when unless somebody is just requiring just solely like just they need to know different reps and stuff like that. I like to do different circuit trainings though, because it keeps people more engaged. It keeps them from thinking about the workout and keeps them more fun. If you're doing a lot of Tabata, I love Tabata. I
Yes.
love different.
Yes. Wait, stop right there. Tell the audience what Tabata is. What's your
So
favorite?
Tabata
Yes.
is
Yes.
one of Melissa's favorites. So it's 8 rounds, it's 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off of rest, and you are just constantly moving, 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 moving.
Mhm.
Um, it's only a total of 2 minutes, but it does not feel like 2 minutes. It's gonna feel so much longer. but you get so much more out of it. It's a hit workout. I found that in those 2 minutes, you can burn a significant amount of calories than as opposed to just sitting there just doing just doing deadlifts or something like that. You just burn so much more. It was that 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and it's 8 rounds, and it's a lot. It gets intense. It gets
I,
intense, but I enjoy it.
so with that, I'm glad you brought that up. So for those clients that come to you, and I know this was when I first really got into fitness and started really enjoying it, I thought that I needed to spend 2 hours in the gym. And that first hour was some steady state cardio. And then I might fool around lifting weights because when I first started the journey, I wasn't really serious until I absolutely knew until I learned how to use my body in the gym, use the weights. So, what do you think? You brought up the Tabata and the calorie burn and keeping that heart rate up. So, for you, what do you find? What do you prefer? What do you think is best? Because something may work for someone else, but how do you feel about steady state versus that high intensity interval type training?
So I prefer high intensity because I don't have 2 hours to just spend. I'm just not at that place in my life anymore. I gotta get it in and let's go. And it's also I have to make sure my clients get the maximum of their workout.
Hmm.
And also sometimes for some people a straight hour of just straight, say somebody going to treadmill for straight 1 hour straight, that's very boring. They're just sitting there like, oh my God, when is this going to be over with? Opposed to you doing something like Tabata or doing one of the ones that I love, 1 minute rounds. I love 1 minute rounds. 1 minute round, 15 seconds off, 1 minute round, 50 seconds off, catch your breath.
That's
Let's
a
go.
long time.
It is a long time. You realize how long 1 minute is. But you get so much more out of that 1 minute than you do saying, okay, well, let's do 10 reps. Okay, we're going to rest for 30 seconds or a minute or however long your rest is. That works better for me. I get more impact out of that. My heart rate stays up. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I did a group workout, and again, I knew it was gonna be tough because I planned it and I did it before. My heart rate was stayed between like 145 and 160, and I was like, "Oh my God!" But I pushed myself to that level. So I was
Hmm.
like, because everyone's like, "Come on, come on!" Everybody's like cheering each other on. I'm sitting here like, "Girl, I'm about to die!" Like they're all so much younger than me. But that was only so the actual workout, the core of the workout, that was only 20 minutes. It was 20 minutes, but my heart rate stayed high throughout that entire 20 minutes. And it was everybody competing to see how many rounds they can get. And let's see if we can beat each other. We're competing against each other. We're competing against ourselves. We're
Yeah.
pushing ourselves. The goal that was on the board is to push yourself, push your
Okay.
partner.
Love it. Every minute on the minute. I love a Iman.
Mhm.
So Eric, before I get to the Imans and what you prefer, we were in the middle of talking about your protein intake and what works for you because I know what works for you may not work for your clients or work for other people. So tell me what kind of works for you, and then just as a general gauge, not that we're trying to tell the audience this is how much protein you need because some people are just not into meat. They have to supplement their diets with different sources in order to get what they need. So, what works for you? And then, if you are giving like a general gauge to the audience of a starting point, what would you tell them?
Again, listen to your body. I know before I got cut off, Jay measures hers, which a good amount of people do. I honestly don't, believe it or not. I listen to my body. I do sometimes feel like eating every 3 hours, but
Mhm.
I know, for example, when I take the 2 days off from the gym and in that first workout, my body is not craving as much protein or nutrients, so I cut the meal back. And then as the
Okay.
week goes on and I'm burning more calories, I give myself more protein. But I get my sources off of a lot of turkey, sweet
Okay.
potato fries, because I'm too lazy to cook sweet potatoes, to be honest. And
Okay, so here's my
perfect
question then. You're
aminos.
bringing up sweet potato fries. Are you using them from a bag or are you cutting your sweet potatoes up?
I'm going to Costco's. I'm buying big old bags of sweet potato fries and going in that air fryer with the turkey. And I do love cucumbers and celery. I feel like celery helps
Okay.
with the going to bed part, especially. But
Uh-huh.
between the cucumbers and celery, as far as getting access water and
Hmm.
helping me trim, um, I lean on that. And I love what Jay talked about is having the workout and kicking the young people's butt. It's a mind at the end of the day, whether you're 20, 30, 40, whatever the case may be. If your mind, which is this muscle in our body, says to it,
So yeah, I like that
but I feel
philosophy.
like
I also know that we
something
have
else you were
800
asking,
milligram
Melissa, that I
Motrin in our
forgot.
pocket. So I don't know if you're breaking up still or not,
Oh,
Eric, but when it comes to exercise, I was talking to Jay about steady state versus like hit type exercises. Because you'll see people come in the gym and they'll spend an hour on the treadmill and maybe do something in the weight room. But what is your belief? What works better? Because one may be better for someone else. Because people are so fixated on a machine. If I get on it and I'm on the treadmill for an hour and it says I burned 700 calories, is that real? I think he might be frozen again.
it
Oh
all
wait.
depends on the individual. I know a guy
Okay.
that goes to the gym, um, very ripped, and we have two totally different styles of training. He's more of a full body type of weights type trainer. I'm more of a, I'm gonna hit this body part today, that body part tomorrow type of guy. I'm doing yoga for cardio, and again, he's doing it, but both still getting to the finish line pretty doggone well.
Okay.
So again, it's what we've been talking about tonight. Find what for you. Jay said high stake cardio. I've done that with Melissa. I don't miss it. It's good
Really?
mentally.
Really, Eric? Is
It
that
is
what we're doing right
phenomenal.
now? Come on, Eric.
Yes,
You miss
yes,
it.
no. Them last couple of seasons, I was like, I don't. But I think it mentally to get you over hurdles, especially like Jay was talking about. Doing something for 30 seconds, a couple seconds break, and mentally keeping yourself geared in and focused because you lose focus one moment and you're totally out of game. So high intensity definitely has its place. For me, I just don't miss it, to be honest.
So I always like once we're coming close to the end, and I hate that because this has been a great conversation, and I definitely want to have the two of you back on. But as we get closer to the end, I do want to ask a couple of questions, Jay, and then I'll pose it to Eric also. I know you have your business. Just talk to us a little bit about your business, how people can reach you if they want to reach out for training, what other things you do in the community. Yeah, just let them know about Jay the woman, Jay the police officer, Jay the mother, Jay the fitness trainer. Just how can we reach out to you and talk to us about your business a little bit, and also how you got it started, how you got it started.
Sure. So my business is Bell Fitness Her LLC. Bell Fitness Her LLC. The Her is for I mainly train females. I can be reached on Facebook. I can be reached on Bell Fitness Her, Instagram, Bell underscore Fitness Her, as well as TikTok, Bell Fitness Center. I'm on TikTok as well. You can reach me on any platform, and you can also reach me at Bell Fitness at gmail.com as well. How did I
Okay.
get started? Let's see. Honestly, I got started during COVID. I've always trained. So I've always trained. I opened my own business during COVID because every gym shut down. I was like, oh my God, like, how are we going to train? How am I going to train? So I believe that God allows everything to happen for a reason. And that was my season to open up my own business. My gym, I was able to keep my gym regulated to where I wanted to keep my gym regulated. And that's how I started my gym.
Nice. And Eric, tell us about some of the things that you do, some of the projects you have going on, coming up, and where we can catch you at these wineries, because I be all up in your Facebook and Instagram. And we want to know the best wine
Us
out
in the
there
midst
too.
of all this,
Tell
in the
us.
midst of all this training, I love to go to wineries. I have two winery buddies, and we go three once a month to let our hair down and just catch up and see how everyone is doing. I do it throughout the DMV area, and I've also traveled to the tri-state area and gone to wineries out
And you shoot
there.
a lot of commercials at your wineries too, right?
Outside,
Say that again now.
I made a couple winery commercials, but also, yeah, that's where the action. I got a long fence commercial on TV right now. I haven't seen it, but I've had people seen it for Frederick, Maryland. I've done some commercials for them, advertising things you can do in that area. And then modeling, I just recently modeled for, it's like an adult arcade in Alexandria, Virginia, called Continue
It's
Arcade
PG, right?
on Instagram. I have to,
Is it
yeah,
PG?
yeah,
An
yeah.
adult arcade?
It,
What?
yeah,
Okay.
this guy who has loved video games
Okay.
since forever,
Okay.
he's
All
got
right.
like vintage Pac-Man and whatever the case
Oh, okay.
may be.
Yeah, I want to make sure I ain't pushing porn
Yeah,
on this
he's got up to
platform.
the,
We got to be, let's be cool.
no, video games, not
Okay,
those type
okay,
of
okay.
games.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Pinball machine
And
that
then
he
I
was
do
in.
have a question. Now, I do have a serious question, but a funny question that I have for you. I've seen the things that you do for the wineries. I've seen the photos. I've seen the shoots that you do. Are you really drinking all that wine? How are you keeping your weight down? Because we know wine got a lot of sugar in it. Are you really drinking it, or is it all for the shoot?
I feel like the famous bodybuilder from this area, Kevin Laroni. I'm a fan of bodybuilding, even though I personally don't have genetics to do it and don't plan on getting on stage. And
Uh-huh.
the Maryland Muscle gave arguably the greatest of all time advice, because when they were doing shows, the Maryland guy was beating the Texas guy at all these shows they're doing. And so the
Hmm.
Texas guy, Ronnie, goes to his room and is like, "What are you doing these shows? I don't understand it. And you're too serious. That's your problem." And he goes and gives him a shot of vodka. And he's like, "Vodka? I can't drink this. I'm about." He said, "See, you gotta relax yourself." And so he takes a taste of his vodka. He goes, "It's pretty good. Give me some more of that." And have a show in the morning, and something about that alcohol made him vascular, and he started kicking their butt from then on. Now, I drank alcohol before. Something about that, I guess, taught how to be relaxed degree and not be so serious 24/7. Again, I'm not getting on stage, so I winery every now and then. Now, making all that, that's why I have two buddies to help me drink that
Okay.
bottle. Now they're the tallest of people, so I feel like half of it is on me.
Uh-huh.
But the last, it was my fault. When Graham, I saw that they had food, but we went on a Monday and not a weekend, and the food truck available during the weekend. So what did we do? We ordered a couple pizzas, and something about having that pizza with the one honestly helped me go into. I went to the gym like 2 hours after and had a phenomenal back workout.
It's
Because the guys were like, "I thought you went to a winery." I said, "I did. I just got back 2 hours ago and killed it." So yes, I'm
okay.
drinking that wine, but I'm not drinking all of it by myself. I get a little help.
Oh, okay. So you got somebody to help you. And I don't want the, so just for the audience, we're not pushing alcoholism. We're not pushing porn. We're not pushing unhealthy eating. What I heard was, is that we should be able to indulge and enjoy, but still work out and do the things to get ourselves healthy. And with that, as what would you leave with the audience about one, getting started and staying dedicated to the game? I don't care who goes first. What would you tell the audience on one, how to get started, and two, how to stay dedicated to what it is that you want to accomplish when it comes to your health and fitness?
The biggest thing that I would say is just get started. A lot of people say, I'm going to start on Monday. Monday never comes. Why do you have to wait till Monday? You got 7 days in a week. Just start and enjoy the journey. Your journey is your journey. It doesn't matter what it looks like for anybody else. Don't block out all the noise. Challenge yourself and be the best version of you and enjoy the journey. A lot of people or they treat fitness like it's a chore, or they put themselves in this box, and they don't really, they see what they can have as opposed to, or what they can't have, or what they have to do, as a saying, well, okay, well, let me explore a little bit. Let me go outside of this box. Let me figure out what this looks like. Let me have fun with this. As he was saying, like, try different things. Try, just test your body. But the biggest thing is enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. Take plenty of photos. Do things like go have fun. I'm a foodie. I love to eat. So I go to different restaurants, try different foods. Just enjoy the journey. And your journey may not ever look like my journey, but just enjoy the journey, and be in the moment and live in it, and remember these moments that you are building for whatever your goal is.
I love it. And you, E?
Yes, I would have to piggyback off that. Enjoy the journey. Don't overwhelm yourself, because the biggest thing, like she said, just getting in the habit of, to where it's not a chore, it's just part of your lifestyle. You'll get to the point where when you don't go, you'll feel like things missing in your week, because God, I didn't do this, and I didn't do that. And it helps food and things, in my opinion. And the added bonus to it for me is I'd rather go on my own than the
Mhm.
doctor telling me I need to go. Because if it gets to the point where the doctor tells me I need to go, it's starting to get to be a little too late. So yeah, take it baby steps, have fun, and slowly go along some things, but you'll be just fine at now.
Okay, I love it. Before we close out in a few minutes, I'm gonna say this. Jay, where Ken at?
She's right here.
I need to see my baby.
Come here, Ken.
Put her in the. Hi, Ken. I need to see your whole face, girl. You're a superstar. This
It's
is
my
my
baby
god
love.
baby. Hi. How are you?
Good.
You're getting ready for school tomorrow?
We just left the gym, right?
Yeah, we just left the gym.
Oh, okay. I wanted to see your beautiful face and introduce you to the crowd, because soon you're going to be taking over all of it for all of us.
That's
Have a
right.
good night.
Later, later.
Hi.
Eric, Jay, it has been a pleasure having you both on the show, and I hope that you will make time to come back. I would like to finish picking your brain and just getting the information out there. And if you can just drop your information in an email, a text, and I'll have Mr. Wallace send it out so that people can reach out to you. Even though I know you're in North Carolina, I know you still do stuff virtually. I know you do consults. So I want to send the love that way. And E, we're just going to keep stalking you and pimping you out. Eric's like, he knows it's serious. But I want to thank both of you
I'm
for
used to
coming
it
on the
by
show
now.
tonight. And I'm sorry I was almost late, but the drive here was a little bit rough. But thank you, thank you, thank you. I am honored to have both of you on the show, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good night.
See you.
Good.